All right, cool. So we're live and kicking. We're bringing in another great day of Owning Your Happy, Monday through Friday, 8:45 Eastern, 7:45. I am your host, Vernon Lee Brown, bringing you the happy, bringing you the focus, bringing you the discipline, and all that good stuff 5 days a week. All right, so it's stop making life so complicated. Life is incredibly simple. Life is very complex, yes, but life is incredibly simple. What I am going to be talking about is this. Thank you, fam. I appreciate that love. Is what is this? Where are we at? A lot of situations that we go through in life that we stress and we get caught up on, and I'm saying a message that I have to remind myself of, just like I'm reminding you all, is stop making it so fucking complicated. Stop making it so complicated. Yes, I just did censor myself, but I'm telling you, a lot of things that we want, a lot of things that we say we like, discipline, motivation, and things on, it's because you've made it so complicated. Stop complicating things. One thing that I just had this conversation with, and you know who you are. I was a little late getting things from the gym today, and I missed my call. Anyway, it's I can't get to the gym. I can't figure out how to move my body. And one of the things that gets me is, and I've been in the gym for well over 20 years, and I hear people getting so focused on the fact that I don't have a piece of equipment, I don't have this, I don't have that, therefore that I can't take control of my fitness. That is one thing I am so adamant about. When people start coming up with these things called AKA moving the goalposts, that's what I call that. You not having an elliptical or a treadmill. I'm not saying these things aren't a big deal. I am not. I am not. But what I am saying is, if you know that you want to change some things about yourself, there is going to be some sort of change, some sort of effort that has to be put forth. And this lady's in particular, she was saying that she can't start walking, she can't start exercising, she can't start stretching in her own home because she doesn't have a $2,000 elliptical that she needed to ask her husband about to make sure that she can buy it. And, she called me, kind of a 911 thing. And that's what my clients, they have a 911 access. Hey, Vern, I really need some help. It's a very serious situation. He's got some health struggles. And I'm kind of listening. I'm just like, hey, I got to be honest with you. What can we start doing to get you moving now? And it was one of those things like, well, no, I don't want, it's just so this and it's just so that. And I just kind of said to her, well, how long is it going to take for you to get your the elliptical? Well, first we got to find him, got to do this. I said, great, wait, but how long? And she said, probably about 2 weeks. And I said, okay, well, that makes ton of sense. What are you going to be doing in that interim time? And she just got quiet. And she was like, well, what do you mean? Well, what are you going to be doing? And it just came so apparent that when we start looking at it, that things are way out here, and I'm going to find barriers that stop you from doing something right now. And when I said that to her about, wait, what are you going to be doing in the interim period? She got really quiet. And then she's like, well, I could. I'm just, you got to move. You got to do something. The simple solution to life is this. You have to start. That is it. It's uncomfortable. It's scary. I've got to do some things today. Simple to a lot of people. Simple to so many people. Hard to a lot of people. But you know what? I have to start. No matter what you're doing, if you don't start, it is hard. If you do start, it's not quite as hard because at least you go to it with some sort of knowledge, some understanding, and it helps your confidence. That's one of the things. It's not only coming up with these barriers of why you can't start, it's that confidence that kicks in. I don't want it to be like last time. How's this going to be any different? The cure for that is to start. You have got to start. If you want to notice that your hygiene's not where it is, when it's one of those subjects that people are embarrassed about, I understand that. But if you're noticing, hey, maybe I could take better care of my nails or my teeth and my skin, you could call it vain, you could say whatever you want, but who doesn't care about their appearance? You want to be taken a certain way for people, and you know who you are. When you start making a certain amount of money, you're hitting above 80, 90, 120,000, you need to start caring more. But it's important to care about your image, no matter what level. I'm not even going into that argument. But you got to start. You might not can go to the nail place because maybe they're closed, maybe it doesn't fit your schedule, but you can start cutting your nails, cleaning your nails. You can start, looking at different cleansers for my skin. I never took care of my skin. Never. Never. Fortunately, a sweet angel educated me on taking care of my skin. I had to start. I started noticing my skin was looking different because being in the sun and sweating so much, I had to start. It was uncomfortable. It was challenging. It sounds dumb to some of you all. But my appearance matters to me. And for a lot of you all, your appearance matters to you, but you got to start. This is the simple way, the simple plan. Get started. Find some way to make a step towards. If you notice your house is a mess, if you just notice it, man, that house is not looking like a used how I would like the floor. I mean, baseboard. If you noticing that the wainscoting, if you have wainscoting or the molding is not everything you want. Yes, for to do the entire house or to do the clean the entire house could take you all day, or it could take you $25,000-$30,000 or something like that, right? But you can start. You might not can start to work, but you can start to save. Waiting for that big windfall is what a lot of us are aiming for. That might happen. Odds are it might not. But if you start, it definitely increases your chances. You know, when it comes to starting things, I know it's scary. I learned that firsthand. I was 16 years old. I just told the story on another live I was doing. I was 16 years old. I was living in Richmond. Quite honestly, my people from Richmond know what I'm talking about. I lived in Winterpark. It was country. It was way down in the sticks. Not super far in the sticks. It was in the sticks. It was dark. And I mean dark, country dark. No lights, no street lights, no stars. I mean black. If you know what absolute black is, that's what it was like. And I'm 16 years old, having the time of my life. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm feeling this when I'm driving. I'm like, what's going on? I didn't know the things that I know now. I didn't realize that my tire had blown because Vernon at that time didn't really care and just let things go. Didn't pay attention. It was an Allen tire, but it could have happened while I was driving, but more than likely because I didn't check. Pull over on the side of the road. True story. And I'm sitting there in the dark, 16 years old. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm by myself. I'm admitting I was scared. And if you say, well, why were you scared? You're a man. In the woods by myself in the country. That's fearful enough for anybody. The lion, tigers, and bears, oh my, right? So I'm sitting there, and I didn't know what to do. I knew how to change the tire, but I didn't have any lights. I had no knowledge, visual knowledge to figure out what to do. Yes, I knew how to get to the jack, but I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So I sat there and I waited for this big windfall, for this big magical tow truck that's supposed to come out of nowhere at the right time when I was there. And after about 5 minutes, I realized ain't nobody coming to save my hind part. Nobody's coming. So I sat and I closed my eyes and I'm just feeling through the car. It's my car. 1988 white Ford Taurus. God bless, I could not stand that car. But you know what? I wanted that car to start so I could get my Blackwood down the road. And I'm feeling through the car and I'm getting out the car. I'm rolling and I pop the trunk. Then a car drives by. I'm like, oh man, I'm waving. No, I don't need to say too much. 20 plus years ago, driving in the road at night, you see a guy waving and wearing whatever I was wearing. It ain't a very welcoming sight late at night. Nobody would help me. No windfall. So I pop the trunk. I'm going in there. I'm reaching around. I see another car. And I hear them. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I just evacuated my simple plan of just trying, or just attempting, at least moving in that direction. And I waited for that windfall, aka another car. No, it wasn't a tow truck. They didn't slow down. Went back to the trunk. But I had just enough light, by the way, from that trunk. When those cars driving by, I was able to go in the trunk, found the jack. And so another car comes. At that point, I said, forget it. I need to focus on starting this, and because no one's going to help me. I just got to that place of acceptance, right? So then I'm sitting there, excuse me. So as I'm sitting there, on the ground, I got the jack under the car, getting under the frame, and I'm jacking the car up. I'm just jacking this car up. And the car's slowly going up, and another car drives by. I'm just like, forget it. No one's coming. No one's coming to save me. But I still kept going. Out of nowhere, a car pulls up right behind me. Now, as much as I thought that windfall was going to be great, all of a sudden I was like, I heard the Unsolved Mysteries guy. On 19, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just hearing in 98 or 96, 1996, Vernon was on the side of the road. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm about to be freaking killed out here. Guy pulls out, opens the door. He said, hey, man, you need some help? And I couldn't see him. I'm like, I think I'm good. Then next thing you know, another car pulls up mid-conversation. And said, hey, man, you guys need some help? I was at a place where I was stuck. I was scared, but you know what? I needed the help. And I would kid you not, we became friends just like that. I got a really good sense of who they were quickly. And like, hey, buddy, I can help you out. We jacked the car up, got the tire, they put the spare tire on. I was going on the road in less than 15 minutes, shook hands, went about my business. And that taught me so much. One, ain't nobody going to save anybody who's not trying, who's not putting forth any effort, who's not at least doing something better than themselves versus the person who's sitting there waiting. I could have waited on the side of the road. I can promise you this. They would not have a strong belief in this. And I can barely say promise, but I have a strong belief that they would not have helped me if they didn't recognize that it was safe for them and that they saw me trying. Otherwise, I would have looked like somebody who was trying to assault them or accost them in some way, right? But because I was trying, they could see my effort. They felt more compelled to help. They felt more compelled to do something. They felt more compelled to ask. They just I put myself in the way of receiving. And when it comes to looking at how we get past our problems or move forward with some things, we got to start. We have to be courageous. We got to be bold. It is scary sometimes, but you got to start. Begging and asking and pleading and wishing and da 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 da. Sure, those are all good things. I'm not saying there's not a place for those, but what are you doing to move your situation forward? And that freaking scary but beautiful lesson taught me the kindness of people. Nobody cared about color. It was like, hey, I saw somebody who's in danger. I saw somebody need some help. And those guys just asked. I always help people on the side of the road to this very day, no matter what, with using some common sense for that, because I recognize what it's like. And this is why I'm just so adamant about the things that I help people with. It's because I know what it's like. I understand what it's like. And some of the things I have not been through, I can say that honestly. But I do know when you take initiative, when you're taking those steps in spite of and not making it complicated, not sitting back and waiting for someone to do for you, when you are showing your work, you tend to get all sorts of opportunities, all sorts of blessings, all sorts of gifts, all sorts of advantages. Start. That is a simple solution. You got to start. Don't forget onyourhappy.com/newsletter. We got lots of changes going on. If you follow me on TikTok, start, because I've been doing, I'm more so going to be switching the format here, and I'm going to start going up on the evenings this week, just playing around some different times. But go out there, focus on your happy every day, Monday through Friday. Peace.